Let's move on to recaps, because we got a lot to go through.
Yes.
Where do you want to start? I want to start with We Bare Bears.
Okay.
Yes.
Bears.
What I thought was going to be the lighter affair of this week.
Well, the first one was light. That's why I, yelled at you guys in the chat in all caps.
Yeah.
And you didn't believe me.
The first one was...
Everyday Bears. Which is, stylistically more of what we've seen. Another great episode.
That was the one with the Roomba, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Each bear has their challenge. We see how desperate Grizzly is for friends, and how that's kind of like his primary motivation in life. To the point where he gets stuck in a tree.
And is a real tool about it.
Ice Bear has an episode with the Roomba. Hijinks ensue. And then Panda is afraid of a mouse in his room, and that mouse gets on his keyboard and starts fucking up with his Facebook and making him lose all his friends.
Yeah.
And they all come together at the end somehow.
Yeah.
Doesn't the tree, crash into the house?
Yes.
Although, really, Panda, if people are gonna unfriend you for claiming you don't like you hate babies, they were never your friends.
Yeah.
Babies suck.
Now, the episode we really want to talk about is Burrito. Here's the thing about Burrito. Say for the last 2 minutes of that episode, I have seen that exact cartoon episode a bunch before. Yes. I can't name any names, but I know I've seen cartoons where somebody gets a big food and they hang out with it like it's a buddy and it gets rotten and their friends make them throw it away and it's a big, traumatic thing. I've seen that before.
It was lampshaded in the episode. Ice Bear and Panda were this happens all the time. There's a whole community of people who do this.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was going to turn into more of a Tumblr thing of people saying it's completely normal. It's completely normal and valid. But what elevated it above that trope, and what proves that this show's really got some chops behind it, is at the end we see a flashback of Grizz as a baby, as a cute little baby bear baby.
And they alluded to that flashback two times before they actually showed the whole thing. So there was an anticipation that there's something more going on with this burrito thing.
Yeah. I was freaking out. I was like, what is this? No. I was super afraid that it wouldn't pay off at the very end, and suddenly, I was waiting for a rug to get pulled out, and it's psych, this is another fucking overarching show, and it's gonna make you sad!
But, as a baby, Grizz got stuck in a tree.
He was all alone, abandoned. Little baby.
Rescued by a fireman, and when he grabbed onto the fireman's sleeve, it was very comfortable, and he hung on super tight. And him hugging the burrito accessed that same primal sense memory in him, which is why he became so attached to the burrito. It's not just that he was a goofy guy who loved a burrito. It was
yeah, it got real. When he was climbing up the electrical thing, and his Ice and Panda were we're doing this because we love you, and he's no, you don't understand. I need this burrito! And it's oh man, this is serious hoarder shit going on right now.
Yeah, and a lot of sense memories, it's very intense, but you can't really access you can't really tell what it is, what's going on. He was never conscious of what that reminded him of.
No. At the end, he was I wonder why I love that burrito so much.
Oh, I'm probably just a goofy guy.
Yeah.
I'm probably just if Seth Rogen was a bear.
I love Grizz. And I guess that, he's becoming this tragic character, his desperation for approval and friendship and this traumatic childhood past. I want to see how they all met. Because, presumably Grizz is native to the area. Do grizzly bears live in California? Yeah, grizzly bears?
They're on the quarter. They're on the flag. They're on the flag in California.
There's a bear on the flag.
Yeah. But then Ice Bear and Panda must have been zoo bears. But I wonder how they all became friends. I'd like to see that.
They're apparently brothers, but we don't know if that's blood or...
I
doubt
the
it.
other one.
It's not. That's not how bears work.
That's not how bears work.
Well, I've been watching a lot of BoJack, and that's not how anything works.
BoJack is different.
A deer gave birth to a human boy.
Look, that's gonna be next week, folks. So that's We Bare Bears.
I figured out my truncation for that. It's Weebibos.
Weebibos?
Or Weebabos, I think it's better.
Weebabos? We're Babos. Bo spelled B-E-A-U.
We're Babos.
Babos. Put that on a t-shirt.
Babos.
Sense.
You don't make any sense. What next?
Clarence
is another fun one where they play Pirate D&D and they go on a crazy flood adventure and Chad has one line and it's the best one.
He's like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now.
And he just abandons his running chainsaw in the middle of a storm.
This episode is called Breen Ho, and it's a feature on Breen.
One of the rando kids.
Yeah.
Who are probably, like, all gonna get a turn.
Definitely.
Because they're all so well designed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're all fun kids. I love these fucking kids. And I loved how, like, you know, it's Arizona, so if it's gonna rain, it rains.
Everyone's gonna die.
But on top of it, they had this gutter problem. Which is what made it flood in the first place, because nothing was draining. Because all the gutters were filled with crap. Because for some reason in Aberdale, people treat gutters like garbage cans. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself watching this episode.
Yeah, it's more proof that board games just cause nothing but domestic violence.
Yeah.
Don't play board games, folks.
Don't. They're the worst. I hate them.
Either video or pen and paper... Anything that tries in between, unless it's like so convoluted you don't have time to fight because you're still reading the fucking manual an hour in.
Yeah.
Then you're in this together. Then the game is your enemy.
Anything German.
Yeah, anything like you buy at an actual game shop next to all the paint colors that you don't know what they're for. Don't go to game shops.
Then over on Disney XD. We had the season 2 premiere of Wander.
Yeah!
Which was awesome. It was a full half an hour.
It was so awesome.
We've got a new villain who's presumably going to be the subject of that overarching plot we heard about.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Eliminator, who... For me, the reveal was spoiled because I follow Noelle Stevenson on all social media where she is.
I follow Craig McCracken, so I knew about that.
Yeah, him too. So
I didn't.
From the art I saw, or at least from what I remembered of it, because I think I kind of skimmed past it because I didn't want to get that spoiled. I don't remember. I thought she was going to be older.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to be more like a classy old lady instead of like a hip young lady.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Craig McCracken said that she's not a girl. She's a grown-up, but she's like young style grown-up.
Yeah. I thought we were going to do sort of like a femme fatale, but not like a shitty one, like a good one.
Yeah.
Now she just is really excited about destroying shit.
I mean, she's a fatal female.
Yeah.
So...
She's voiced by Noelle Wells.
Noelle Wells?
Yeah, I say it out loud and I'm like, you fucked up, parents. Who was apparently on SNL.
And she also has cool sneakers.
Yeah, everybody in the show has cool sneakers. Everybody's wearing sick Converse.
Because that's the classic cartoon shoe.
Yeah.
That's what everyone in Kids Next Door wore, except for Abby. And Nigel with his sweet fucking boots.
And it was just...
That were jet boots. Let's talk about Kids Next Door.
And it was just a fun episode. It was neat to see things change a little bit. They kind of mess with the status quo.
Every part of that ship was amazing.
Oh my god, the design. I miss the design and the fluidity of the animation.
Lord Eliminator, her like full armor, like all I could think was like, that looks like Gendy.
Oh, you know what I thought? You know what I said when they like revealed the top of the ship and it was like, Emperor Zurg?
And then did you guys see the goof in the credits?
Which one was it?
You mean like the animatic?
Yeah, the animatic goof for that episode.
Yeah. His name's Lord Hader. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. I've been calling him Lord Vay. And then the explosion.
Well, they could have gotten away with it because Disney owns...
me.
Yeah, Star
Craig's
Wars now.
better than that.
Yeah, it's funnier having it cut off.
Because now there's people who don't get the joke right away, and then that ups the inherent quality and value of the joke.
And then the next episode was, back to the two-parter. The first one, The Big Day, was hilarious. I love Commander Peters getting on Lord Hader's case about sucking so hard.
Yeah, that actually was probably the best part.
I felt a lot better about it when it finally started. It was like, okay, it's a wedding. That's the joke. For the first half of it, I was like, are they gonna fuck? What the hell? I was like, stop it.
No,
yeah,
it was
it
a
took
wedding.
a while for it to click if it was a wedding. Until they started
kept
talking
calling
about
it the big day. What else?
Yeah,
I don't think about weddings. I try
Don't
to think
you
about
want it to
weddings
be
as
special?
never as possible because nothing is more scary to me than a wedding.
Well, I don't know. It seemed really obvious to me.
I mean, I knew it wasn't that, but I couldn't figure out what it actually was.
And it was so hilarious.
It was.
Just
it was
kept
really
escalating.
Are
Like
we
a
doing
real
anything?
wedding. Like it always starts off, we'll do something
We'll
simple.
do something small. It's like, I have to invite every person I know. Fuck!
And then all this shit happens, and there's a whole ceremony, and Commander Peepers comes at, and objects, and is like, he says the exact same line from, that episode of SpongeBob when Gary leaves to be friends with Patrick. It's like, I thought what we had was special! And I was like, this is beautiful, and I love everything that's happening right now. And even Sylvia was like, I thought we were doing a goof. And Wanda's like, well, we were, but I just got caught up in it. Very, very funny.
I don't want all this to go to waste.
Very Looney Tunes. The long
this
con.
show. This show is like the one of the only current animated series out there that still harken back to the old animation tropes.
Yes.
It's very old school.
Yeah. And then the second part, holy shit.
the villain falls apart all the time.
Yeah. He's a skeleton.
But the second half, the breakfast,
I love it.
holy shit, that was awesome.
I love
I
episodes
loved
like that.
everything about that.
It reminded me of, well, first, it reminded me of a lot of stuff. Nothing, there's no direct parallel, but I just love whenever, because every good cartoon does it. They'll have a couple episodes every now and again where it breaks the format. It breaks the storytelling format and shows you something really neat and interesting. And the very first thing I thought of, again because Gendy and Craig are BFFs, there was an episode of Dexter's Lab where the entire bit was, we're gonna follow Mandark throughout his day.
Yes.
And there's no dialogue other than him
laughing to everything.
Laughing, but then whenever he couldn't laugh, he would just make onomatopoeia sounds and mouth noises in the same exact tone and cadence.
I remember.
Brush for brush, brush for brush for brush.
Choo choo choo.
Choo 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 choo. Yes.
For 6 minutes.
I remember that blew my mind as a kid.
I was like, are they doing this
I have a very vivid memory of that episode, except I actually can't remember how many beats are in his laugh.
Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha ha. And then it loops.
No, Tooch, you do it.
Ah ha ha. Ah ha 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 ha. And then it loops.
Yeah. And I love the beginning of this episode with them getting up in the morning and how the opposites, Hader gets up and it's and he goes to the laptop right away. And then in the shower, the two of them and him in the shower are just
Here's the thing.
You're either a Wanderer or a Hater.
You would think that joke went on too long. I laughed through the whole thing.
Me too, because it's so real. I'm like, that is exactly what I'm like when I wake up in the morning. That is the exact dichotomy of what people are like in the morning. They're either hater or wander. Man, it was...
Are you a hater or a wander? Let's have that worst discussion ever.
That's the new Zoe and Zelda.
Yep.
Man, I can't wait for next week.
I couldn't wait so long, I thought it was this week. I stayed up till an ungodly hour finishing Bojack.
I'm sorry, Tooch.
No, it's good, I wanted to.
No, you needed to. You think you can watch the New Mexico episode and not watch the next one?
No, I stopped. I went to sleep.
How could you sleep after that?
I don't know, I just couldn't. I couldn't go back to it. I needed to step away. Anyway, don't want to blow our load for the next episode. And then we got Star, also on Disney XD.
Yes.
Had their first half-hour special, and it was really cool. We finally got to go into St. O's and see just how fucked up it is.
St. O's! With the best goof in that first act with the thing under her rug.
Oh my god.
That was hilarious! I was like, what?
She's like, I don't know, but I know I shouldn't go on top of it.
This show's amazing.
Oh my gosh. So they're trying to break, Unicorn Head Princess. Is that her name?
Princess
Ponyhead. Princess Ponyhead.
Princess Ponyhead, yeah.
From St. O's. Because it's her birthday. And they're not allowed to have fun in St. O's or express any kind of individuality or emotion. So Marco convinces Star that would be a fun thing to do because he's watched a lot of heist movies. And he spends the rest of the episode as a beautiful princess with the most fabulous ponytail that I was so jealous of. So much volume. I loved it. And, they find out all the dark secrets of St. O's and, how fucked up it is and how, but Star conquers her fear and they manage to make St. O's a better place, but unfortunately they leave behind a trail for O herself to track them down. And so there's a lot of build up going on because a few episodes back we got introduced to Toffee, I believe his name was, that lizard guy who teamed up with Ludo, who seems way more evil, and at the end of the episode they got a fortune. It's a great evil has been unleashed. So now we have him and Saint O to get both plotting against them at the same time. This season finale is probably gonna accumulate into something crazy.
Which I think is good, because Ludo's great, but he can't carry the show as a single villain.
No.
Hell no.
She's actually gonna have to fight actual evil at the end.
Yeah, I think for Ludo to continue being interesting, they gotta team him up. They gotta, introduce...
He's basically Emperor Pilaf.
Yeah, they gotta introduce new character dynamics for him to stay interesting.
Yeah. He hasn't even been in that many episodes, really.
No.
Yeah.
He's just a butt monkey.
Yeah, and already I get it. We gotta do some new stuff. And I trust the show to do new stuff. It's a very smart show.
Yeah, they are. They've got Toffee. That's his name, right?
I don't remember either.
I remember it was some kind of confection. And now St. O, and who was revealed at the end that she herself was a princess. So maybe that's how they're going to defeat her in the end, is they bring out her fun princess side. I don't know. It was really neat to see some more world building in this show, and because we keep hearing about this place and it's kind of a punchline, but then to actually see why it's a real serious thing and not just an empty threat by her parents.
I'm honestly surprised they dropped it this early.
Well,
because usually, I guess that means they were always intending to. Because usually with stuff like that, it's always more of it's a joke, but then eventually down the road, they're like, why don't we make it a real thing? A la Adventure Time would do. But, shows, cartoons these days, they have a lot more, planning. In terms of, we're gonna have an episode with St. O's in it, definitely.
Yeah, well, I thought, they're gonna revisit it. So...
Yeah.
And yeah, his name is Toffee, who's voiced by Michael C. Hall.
Oh, cool.
And,
who is that again?
He's in, Dexter. Oh, he's Dexter.
Oh, he's Dexter.
Oh, he's literally Dexter.
Yeah.
Not the Dexter that we usually talk about, though.
the other Dexter. The one that, whenever...
The one who you always see covered in blood.
The one that millennials always get confused about, because you start talking about Dexter the show, and everybody's like, wait, Dexter killed people? It's funny. Alright, and then switching gears to...
Next week's star is Mune-Independence Day and Banagic. So, we got something that's going to take place on Muni, which may be a more serious one. We'll see. It's hard to tell with the show. And the last thing, and I think out of a very interesting week, or pair of weeks for us, because we are recording late, so some stuff we have gotten 2 episodes of, is Rick and Morty. And we didn't talk about last week's. Let's get into the 2 episodes. We've got, what was it, Morty Night Rider?
Morty Night Run, I believe.
Morty Night Run, that's right. Which is similar to that one episode in season 1 where they died. It's like another episode where Morty's got to go through something traumatic because the universe is so much more... Because, like, a lot... Like, Morty's arc through the show is like him discovering that the universe and the world and everything is terrible and chaotic.
Well, his arc is becoming a mini Rick, is essentially.
Yeah.
Just not as smart.
Yeah, he's developing the defensive nihilism that Rick has that's necessary. Once your eyes are opened that wide to what the universe is really like, you gotta build up these walls in order to handle it because it gets so bad out.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is not...
That was Jermaine Clements as Fart.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was like, why is this cloud David Bowie? Okay. Alright. David Bowie cloud, I'm down. The animation for this season has really upped its ante. Like, a lot of people, the stereotype is that adult animation isn't very impressive. It just kind of gets the job done. And the first season was kind of like that. But between last episode and this episode with those crazy, trippy sequences, they're really taking advantage of what they've got to do really crazy things with their budget.
Yeah. And I would say, like, even, like, the first season, it had good animation, but it's like, I think people just saw the very simplistic art style of, the human...
Yeah.
Everything on Earth is really by the books, but whenever they leave Earth, that's when you really see, like, what they're actually working with.
Yeah, there's very adventurous design sensibilities and, like, great monster design, and everything was animated pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. But they're,
if you look
experimenting in this season.
Yeah. But if you look at still images, or even moving images of just the human characters, I get why you would be unimpressed. But yeah, Nina's right, they're definitely stepping up their game.
And this episode's interesting because, like, Morty goes through this revelation, but unlike the last time, he doesn't tell Rick about it. Like, he keeps it to himself, Kind of, I guess, like what Rick does, where he just keeps all of the pain inside and doesn't share. But, like, Morty just doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't even mention it. He just swallows it and doesn't... And Rick is, like, patting him on the back, and it's like, I'm so proud of you for standing up for what you believe in, and Morty's just like, and crying forever.
Yeah, this show's starting to get pretty heavy, and speaking of...
Oh, we have to talk about the game, though.
What?
Roy?
Fucking hell. Oh, actually, as soon as the second he put it on and I recognized what it was, I got terrified, because, like, I find that trope, that plot construct actually super fucking scary. The, Star Trek Next Generation Inner Light and Adventure Time Bahoy. The idea that you can live an entire life that is fake and that you will be suddenly ripped away from and forced to return to your old life, that is horrifying to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, if you think about the actual ramifications of that being a reality, it's the worst.
I mean, why did you think Morty was just fucking terrified?
Oh, where's my wife?
Yeah, that was funny. So, he's taking Roy off the
grid! He was like, man, Morty, you beat cancer just to return to the carpet store? God, like... Oh my god.
And then the fucking the Blips and Chips commercial at the end. Roy, now introducing Roy 2, and me, I'm here, I'm in the commercial now.
It was Roy 2, Dave.
And the preschool, or the daycare for
Jerry.
The dad, for Jerry.
Yeah, the Jerry daycare, that's pretty great. I think that's gonna get called back too.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Jerry even had a revelation where he's like, I can't do anything. I can't handle this. I don't want to be treated like a child, but the reality is, I just can't. It was pretty neat all around.
But yeah, I'm totally waiting for, like, an episode where it's like, oh, like, this has been the wrong Jerry this entire time, and the real Jerry comes back. and it's a thing, and
it'll
probably be something where it's like, it doesn't matter which one it was.
Like, the Jerrys will know, but no one else can tell the difference.
Yeah, no one really cares. It's like, can you guys just, like, handle this yourselves?
Yeah, what I like about it is that they did set the seed for that, so we don't have to worry about, like, a Spider-Man clone saga where they just keep making shit up.
Yep.
Yeah,
Although I'm sure it will be as convoluted as the Clone Saga, but in a good way.
But in, like, a deliberate way. A deliberately goofy way. Now, this week's episode, which was called, I already forget...
Autoerotic Assimilation.
Autoerotic Assimilation.
Brilliant title.
Yes.
First one that doesn't incorporate any of their names since Mr. Meeseeks. Since Meeseeks and Destroy, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Rick reunites with an old flame of his, which is a hive mind by the name of Unity.
Yep.
And his reintroduction to him coming back into Unity's life throws Unity down a downward spiral of hedonism and bad decisions.
Directly affects everything Unity has built up until this point.
Yep.
And we see this moment at the end, which is really the crux of the episode, of Rick.
So there is a B plot with Morty and Summer, and Morty being more experienced than her and trying to.
Yeah, my favorite line is like, "Oh, this is your first race war."
Yeah, to show how much Morty has changed, and to make Summer the new totally innocent, naive person now in this situation.
I hope that's a bit this season where it's like, "Huh, you're the new Morty."
Yeah, because she's still idealistic.
Yeah, she's very idealistic.
Yeah, we're like, it feels like after season 2, Morty, if he learned anything, knows to throw it away.
Yeah.
If he's gonna survive, he's got to get rid of that.
Yeah, watching him with Summer made that very clear.
Now, the crux of this episode was a scene at the very end after Unity breaks up with Rick, and he goes back home after, reading...
Well, the scene where Unity breaks up with him is very important.
The entire planet is abandoned, and he's just reading a series of notes. It's why he broke up, because what Unity said was that you assimilate people to be like you even better than I could without even trying. Yeah. That the idea that his influence on other people is toxic. And
it's incredibly powerful. And inescapable, almost. I mean, that's what's happening to Morty, and even every other person in his life. Even Beth has this very dependent relationship with him.
Which was focused on the C plot in the basement. Which was also really... The payoff for that was really good.
Yeah, that was wonderful. So Unity has to leave him, because Unity, a being that is not one, but many, feels smothered by somebody like Rick. But still cares about him.
So we just have this scene at the end, where he's in an inescapable pit of despair in the garage, and frankly, tries to kill himself, but can't be bothered to do it. He can't be bothered to go through it.
Yeah. And then the thing with the Cronenberg monster was so unpleasant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although, actually, Cronenberg monsters are a different thing in this universe, if you'll remember.
Yeah.
Cronenberg Rick and Cronenberg Morty.
It was like a mini Cronenberg he just had cryogenically frozen somewhere in the garage that he decided to put out of its misery.
Yeah, that was really upsetting.
And then at the stinger... Well, no, we're not even done. So he tries to kill himself, but he just fucking doesn't. He passes out before the laser blasts his head. And then a whole day goes by, and he's just like that. And life goes on, Jerry's with his weed whacker, and that's just it. He's so disconnected from everybody because of this personality of his. Because he's so consuming of everybody else's selves, he's very alone. And I mean, we talked about that in our Rick and Morty episode that we did for the first season. But this made it even more worse than it already was, because anytime he tries to connect with somebody, he just... I don't know, it's that speech that he gave to Unity when Summer and Morty left, and he was like, oh, don't pay attention to them. They make, they'll make you the center of their universe, and then they'll get mad at you for being that center when they're the one that put you there in the first place. And like, that's his whole deal, is that's what keeps happening to him. And he's never seen as a person, because he's just this force more than a human being.
It was a very depressing and upsetting episode, but it gave me hope that this show is going to fill the void left in my heart by the lack of BoJack Horseman. Which I first tried to fill by just watching BoJack Horseman again, and that worked for a while, but I don't think I can watch it 3 times in 1 month.
BoJack Horseman fills your heart?
No, not exactly, but there's a void left by its absence.
BoJack Horseman created a void in me, sir.
Now let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I know. Oh, and then there was the after credits stinger where where Rick pulls up to what was it, Beta 7 or whatever, and is like, I need to see Unity, you fucking asshole, blah blah blah.
You're doing the whole like outside of the building screaming Stella shit.
Yeah. And then Morty's like, I thought we were gonna go to the movies.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
The show's great.
Next week, as we've said 9 times, we are doing BoJack Horseman. It's all on Netflix. It's a Netflix exclusive. There are 2 seasons and a separately listed Christmas special that you can technically watch whenever, but really takes place in between seasons 1 and 2. Yeah. After that, we are doing Camp Lazlo, which was on Hulu and isn't anymore, so you gotta find it on your own.
Yeah, I've been chipping away at it.
Yeah,
it's quite a leap.
Yeah, yeah, I'm getting some whiplash from it.
Major. It's hard to even I don't even want to watch it. The whiplash is so bad.
Yeah. So right now, all we have on our docket is those 2 things. We'll have more for you next week.
Yep.
Ways of contact. No, shoutouts.
Got a lot. I'm not gonna have to start picking and choosing.
Oh no.
I know, I don't want to do that. I love all of you. Sick Prowl asked us if we were ever going to come back to Triplets of Beville.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
we kind of forgot about it, but yeah.
I absolutely 100% forgot. My bad.
Yeah, movies are great for us because we just watch them and in 2 hours we're done. It helps us build up a buffer, and we haven't, we did this movie, but it's been a while since we've done a movie before this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might come back to that kind of stuff.
I've watched them the day of recording.
So yeah, we'll come back to it eventually. I can't say when, but we'll let you know. You'll be the first to know. Jack und Zell their ships.
Jack Unzel and other ships.
Asked us if we're going to talk about MLP FIM.
It's kind of like what we said last week about Avatar, in that it's a show that's been analyzed so thoroughly by so many other channels that we're kind of left at a loss of what to talk about for it. But
Nikki hasn't seen it,
that is
an angle.
That's an angle. And I used to be very averse to it thanks to the culture surrounding it. I never had anything against the show itself. And I've decided to be cool about that. It's absolutely a possibility, but I don't think it's a high priority for us right now.
No, it's definitely not high priority. No one needs another person's opinion on My Little Pony.
Yeah. Box Cutter Cade said, just wanted to show you guys how much you love that you actually watch all of the show before making these. Yeah, we do. We actually
Except for this couple of times we didn't.
Shh.
Mostly it's me.
That didn't happen.
It's mostly me that does that. I feel like.
Yeah, and even if we don't watch the whole thing, I always try to research to compensate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Or if I've ever not, it's because I just know everything about the show.
Yeah, it's a show that you've seen all of previously, or most of previously.
And they suggest that they're like, well, in regards to covering longer shows, which, we've mentioned multiple times, it's difficult.
Mostly big franchise anime.
They suggest that we split them into seasons, like with something like Digimon or Sailor Moon.
Digimon, I think, would definitely work because it's each season, with the exception of 1 and 2, is a different continuity. So I think it would be easier to talk about them separately.
Yeah.
With Digimon,
Absolutely.
we've talked about doing the movie, and if we're going to do any series, I think it would be Tamers.
Yes.
Because Tamers is the one that's actually good,
and
not
it's the one
good
that
how
me and
I
Nikki
like.
didn't watch as kids. I only know about Tamers through internet assimilation.
It's got one of Steve Bloom's non-Spike Spiegel sounding roles.
Yeah, didn't he play the Squeaky Dragon Man?
Yeah, he's going.
He plays Guillerman.
He's Guillerman.
Hi, Guillerman.
Guillerman's so cute. I
want some more bread.
I want to watch Digimon Tamers really badly.
And Impmon. Impmon's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
So
Sailor
we're gonna
Moon, we'd love to talk about, but that's something we'd have to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
they say that we could just do, like, the first season and then maybe go back to it or something.
That's
Their
a possibility,
idea...
but we've never done that before.
Yeah.
Of looking at an incomplete show.
There is I've seen master posts of people who compiled, like, all the episodes of Sailor Moon that you should watch. Like, all the ones that have plot and then the other ones that maybe don't have plot and are filler but are fun and worthwhile to watch.
That might be worth looking into.
Yeah, we might do it that way. I mean,
because the 90s anime is extremely Monster of the Week.
Yes.
But their idea about splitting stuff up into seasons, that's what me and Devin are doing for longer stuff on Metrospective. Like, our next episode is going to be Code Geass, and I'm pretty sure we're not even going to... I think we might not even be doing the full first season. We're just doing the first, 12 episodes or something.
Yeah.
So if we don't do that idea here, listen to Metrospective, and then you can pretend that you made us do that.
Saja Thief Frit says, wants to suggest Daria, Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go.
Yeah!
Megas XLR.
Yeah!
And Motor City.
Woo!
All of these are on our list.
Woo!
I mean, maybe not Monkey Force. We hadn't talked about that one before, but I know Tooch loves it, so...
It's a good one. It ended on a cliffhanger, just like Motor City, though.
Oh, well... But yeah, we're definitely talking about Daria. We've been talking about these things for a while. Daria's all on Hulu Plus, so that would be actually pretty easy for us to do.
Mm-hmm.
But we just did Downtown, so maybe take a break from the 90s.
We don't want our
teens, and, come back to it. But yeah, we're definitely going to do all those shows in the future. We might even do a collab with Metrospective for Megas XLR. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because that's definitely on our enormous... You think your list is big? I literally just spent an hour writing down every mech franchise I could find.
There are a lot.
That Google Doc is huge.
Are you gonna do Gigantor?
You mean Tetsujin 28 Go?
Yes. I'm an American. Leave me alone.
I don't know what you're saying.
Well, that's what my...
But yes,
you have very strong opinions about something I can't wrap my brain around.
No, yeah, I love Gigantors. I will absolutely we'll do Gigantor.
My dad watched Gigantor as a kid.
Gigantor, the space age robot.
All right.
He's at... Okay.
Bakugia Zero says, new listener, pretty big fan. I was wondering if you were going to do Gravity Falls again when Season 2 finishes.
Probably.
We'll probably do what we did with the Ed and Nini / Korra episode.
Yeah.
Where we just talk about that season at the end of whatever we're talking about for a recap.
Yeah, maybe.
Or it could be like Steven. It depends on how big of a deal it becomes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we only got 2 episodes, so there's a lot of time.
God, I feel like if we want to do a retrospective of the whole second season, we're gonna have to watch it again because it took a year to air.
Yeah.
I actually think that would be healthy to watch it again, all at once with
how you're supposed to watch a television show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dillinator1412 basically said that I watched Michiko and Hatchin before I listened to your podcast, and that's the first time I've done that, and I'm definitely going to do that again.
We recommend that.
That's what we suggest. That's our ideal.
Yeah. For all our new viewers, I always pitch this podcast by saying, it doesn't matter what episode you listen to, but pick stuff you've already seen.
Yeah, start with that.
Start with stuff that you know about or familiar with. Even one of my friends in school who's not really into cartoons, but she wanted to check it out. She watched the Hey Arnold episode because she remembered watching that as a kid, and she had a great time. So, you can find something. And then Dillinator also wanted to reassure you, Nikki, that he also hasn't seen Cowboy Bebop. So, you're not the only one.
I mean, I've seen it now. We got a question asking specifically me to elaborate why we won't do... Why again, I refuse to do Kill la Kill. And I have an explanation for this, but before I go, I want to make it clear that the opinions I'm about to espouse are not necessarily those of Nina or Tooch. They are mine.
Uh-huh.
Nor are they a judge on your character for liking or watching the show.
I like the show, and I'm probably about to agree with everything Nikki has to say.
Yeah, me too.
I find Kill la Kill absolutely despicable and insulting on many levels. On the most immediate level, on the fact that it's shameless cheesecake, shameless sexual exploitation. But even more offensive is the way that the show thinks I'm stupid for not understanding what it's doing. The show is claiming to be a meta-narrative deconstruction of cheesecake in anime, while simultaneously shamelessly reveling in those cheesecake tropes. And I am very put off by how it expects me to not be fooled by that. The Studio Trigger, if I'm not mistaken, is ex-Gainax people.
Yep.
Gainax are self-admittedly, we talked about this in our Fooly Cooly episode, they are self-admittedly a bunch of maladjusted fuckboys. They are still mentally 14, and which is why they have been successful in making shows that appeal to angsty teenage boys, because they still are angsty teenage boys. And there can be value to that. But one thing angsty teenage boys cannot do is empower women. They have neither the ability nor the inclination to do so. No matter what justification they give for making Kill la Kill the way it is, it's so obvious to me that the answer, the real reason why, is because they wanted to draw and look at 90% of a tit.
Yeah.
I wasn't born yesterday. And this show...
pretend that it's all about fascism, apparently, and how fashion is fascism. Because it covers the body, and we want to look at naked people.
It's asinine. And I'm sure the show has some stuff going for it. I've seen bits of it. It's spectacularly animated. It's very stylish. It's, of course, ex-Gainax people. That's the other thing that they're very reliably good at. So, yeah, you combine my natural aversion to sexual exploitation and cheesecake, combined with something that's being extremely pretentious about it, and it's just extremely off-putting to me. I saw a bit of the dub of the first episode at Anime Expo and felt very vindicated by how much I absolutely hated it. I had to avert my eyes to prevent getting an anxiety attack. I hated it so much.
And that was like a lighter episode.
Yeah, I know. You didn't even get to some of the more really fucked up shit that happens.
She got raped by the outfit.
There's worse shit that happens.
So I have no patience for the show. I'm constantly struck by a morbid curiosity to watch it just to see how bad it is. But I'm frankly too busy
knowing
for that.
You, please don't.
Yeah. And I'm already too miserable and angry all the time to do that.
Yeah, we'll watch another Trigger or Gainax thing that's not as abrasive in that regard.
Yeah, they mentioned here, we talked about wanting to do Gurren Lagann or Dead Leaves. Yeah. We've talked about this a bit in our Michiko and Hachin episode. I really think the world is ready for an anime that can successfully subvert cheesecake tropes.
It's just hard.
It's a hell of a tall order, because anime fans, being as terrible as they are often incapable of
They ruin everything good.
They're incapable of looking past the surface. They're gonna accept at face value any cheesecake they're given, which is what happened with Kill la Kill, as if there was anything beneath the surface, which there was not.
And that's part of the fault of the industry, is that the actual sales from television broadcasts and DVDs pales in comparison to merchandise. Mm-hmm. And the best way to make merchandise that sells is to have them be a cheesecakey girl, so...
Well, yeah, Nikki, if you remember at the Cannon Buster, oh, hey, maybe that's a direct reference, Cannon Buster panel at AX, one of the things they said was, like, when they were designing characters, that, like, because they got Japanese, like, anime artists to work on and
they got a
Gainax
guy.
Yeah, and they said, like, that was it was the first time he'd ever been told to make a character's breasts smaller as opposed to larger.
Or to show less skin.
Yes.
Yeah, there is an industry, and a consumer culture which reinforces this kind of terrible exploitative shit. Which is part of what I find so refreshing about fuck you. Cannon Busters.
You know what I mean?
For making a concerted effort to not do that. Because it doesn't benefit the narrative at all. It just increases merchandise sales to fuckboys.
Yeah. But one of, I believe it was one of Gainax's very first things, if you want something that, I wouldn't necessarily call it, like, super empowering, but it's like, compared to everything Gainax has done since, it's pretty, like, Gunbuster is pretty unproblematic. It's an OVA, and it's like, so there's some breasts, but it's very contextual, like they're bathing.
Yeah.
I mean, there are
like locker room shit. I mean, but Gunbuster's really good.
I mean, Gurren Lagann has Yoko, who's, very boobtacular and sexualized, and even Dead Leaves has some nudity, but Dead Leaves I don't mind as much because it's so fucking stylized. It barely looks like a human body anyway.
Yeah.
I would also like to... I mean, here's the thing with Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill is basically the same thing as that movie Sucker Punch, and nobody bought it then either.
No.
But all of a sudden, people are accepting it now. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing.
But thank you for your question.
Yeah. I saw that this morning, and I was very excited to clarify.
Okay. At Cranky Hermit says, thank you for both educating me and making me laugh every time I listen in. # eat the fart bark. You're very, very welcome. At Corazon Unicorn asked if we would do an episode on growing up creepy. I don't know what that is.
I looked it up. I had the
immediately defer to me. Okay.
Well, that's your job. I'm sorry.
I had the vaguest memory of it. I think it's
I've
Canadian.
Heard of it. Yeah, it's one of those Canadian shows that didn't always get over
cute.
here that much. I'm not sure we'll cover it.
I don't know. I mean, it has a...
It's one
the
season,
ratings
so
aren't,
maybe.
Its ratings aren't very low, and I like her design. She's this cool, like, goth orphan raised by insects.
It reran on the Hub.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we could check it out.
At Sapphirus asks if we talked about We Bare Bears. Yes, in recaps. Like a lot of things, we may do a full episode on it after a first season. We like to give it a chance to really define itself before we talk about it. The only exception.
Remember when we used to not do that?
Well, yeah. Those were our first 2 episodes because we were really excited about Steven Universe and
Also,
Clarence.
that was all there was. At Alex Weeks says, just finished Michiko and Hatchin, and I'm excited that you guys are doing Camp Laszlo. I'm glad. It's gonna happen. Not next week, but the week after that. And fun times will be had. Novu and Nova asks if we're gonna be doing weekly recaps for Rick and Morty. Yes, we did it this week, and we did it last week, and we will continue to do it until all the episodes have aired. Because Rick and Morty is a really great show.
Mm-hmm.
User 370269255 said that they were referred to us by Jordan, one of our longtime fans. Thanks for sharing with friends, and thank you, friend, for reaching out and enjoying our show. Then we got an email from Kinsueos, who told me that I can pronounce it any way I like because they made it up. So...
Pronounce it Jeff.
Jeff. Wanted to talk to us about Ruby Gloom. Apparently, I don't even remember us talking about Ruby.
I'll address this because it's in regards to something I said. Last week somebody asked if we would talk about Ruby Gloom, and I said probably not because it's a preschool show, because I had seen some of it at the house of a friend's cousin who had like a little daughter who was watching it. And I saw some of it, and it was cute, but it was, even if it's not a preschool show, it's definitely aiming for like maybe even like the 6 to 7 age demographic. It's very broad. I don't have anything against the show. I thought it was very charming for what it was. I just don't know if it's the kind of thing we could really bite into.
We need to be able to discuss it critically for at least an hour, and I think we got into this last week.
I mean, look at its Wikipedia. The Wikipedia page tells me that the fan base is huge, because it's fucking detailed as shit. Maybe. I like the way it looks.
It's not impossible, but it's one of those many things that's a low priority. And I guess also it's worth noting that I only saw a couple episodes, and I think I was hungover at the time.
Yeah, like
the day after I had, at the time, been the drunkest I'd ever been.
It looks.
I have
really
since surpassed
cute.
that.
I don't know.
Well, apparently Ruby Gloom began as just like a product line of like school of like kids merch and school supplies and things, and then they made a TV show.
But she's so cute. I don't know. I'd want to give it a try. I like cutes. There's a character named Misery.
I remember her. They also asked if we're going to do Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Of course. Don't know when, because that's the tall order. They got a good chunk of seasons.
Yeah.
And they're also excited about the inevitable Kick Butowski, which will be easier because it didn't get as many seasons. What it got, like 2?
I think it might have gotten 3. I don't know. I think it might. I don't know.
Yeah. But thank you very much.
Somebody suggested Panty and Stocking.
Yeah, Josh.
Rewind and listen to the fucking. I can't.
Panty and Stocking.
It's not. It's actually
nowhere near at the. They actually don't show boobs, Nikki. I mean, the humor is very crass and vulgar. It's South Park. I think that it would actually be an interesting thing to talk about because when it came out, everybody lost their damn minds because the style was so Western.
Yeah, it's very Western. Like every other episode is
It's they cut them up into 11-minute segments.
It's nothing but Western pop culture references.
Yeah.
I know about it. I mean, maybe I'll slam some of these new anxiety meds and give it a shot, but I don't think I'll be able to handle it.
There are no boobs.
I don't think that's going to be the issue. They're just like I look at a boob and just start to hyperventilate. I mean, that happens, but it's not the only thing.
Okay. Artistic Catalyst sent us a lovely email, a lovely message again, just asking about Gravity Falls recaps. And yes, we have recapped it in our previous episodes. I don't know exactly which ones. I guess we're going to have to start tagging recaps along with news stories. But yes, we have done it. Thank you so much for all of your lovely words, and I really appreciate you writing in. And then, of course, last but not least, Benjamin Infalbo says, "You guys gotta talk about BoJack Horseman." Yes, we are.
We'll look into it.
I don't know.
Now, we've been running really long, so I'm going to rush through ways to contact us. Email, thetoongoons@gmail.com. Twitter, @thetoongoons. Tumblr, thetoongoons.tumblr.com. SoundCloud, /the-toon-goons. Find us on iTunes. YouTube, /the Toon Goons show, right?
Toon Goons podcast.
Toon Goons podcast. We gave our schedule for next week. All right, we have to be done. Okay. I've been Nikki.
I've been Nina, and I just want to thank everybody for congratulating us on 50 episodes. It really means a lot. You're all wonderful.
I spent 30 entire cents making that theme song. And before you get worried that I bought it from like one of those Russian sites, I had, I guess, an Amazon coupon.
And I'm too.
Thank you for tuning in.
Dragon Ball!